Cool. So I'll talk about this entire COVID impact and post-COVID impact, right? So a few minutes on that. So what happened was that we raised our Series C just before COVID, and we were set for a complete different path over the last year, right? So we were supposed to grow 5x from where we were pre-COVID, right? Which was Jan to March. Obviously nobody knew that COVID was going to hit us so hard. COVID hit, and we spent almost 2 months with zero revenue, right? So almost minimal revenue, except for healthcare workers using our scooters. Back then, we pitched to a lot of healthcare workers and we gave our scooters to them, but the market was literally zero. So we went from few crores a month to almost negligible revenue. During that time, what happened is that all of us had to, on video calls like this, and then we actually started discussing what will happen in the future, right? So who will be the use case, given that offices are not going to open very soon? Our biggest customer is office user, and they've all gone back home, or they're not going to go to office. Who will be our use case? Who will we cater to? What kind of product should we implement so that we cater to the user, right? So then we started brainstorming on the kind of use cases that emerge after COVID, like when the lockdowns open up, right? And it was also a discovery, as in when every lockdown opened up, we discovered that there was a set of users and what product to sell to them, right? So we figured that the commute use case, which is the point A to point B use case, has reduced, right? And it was going to grow slowly, right? Like people are not commuting from point A to point B immediately, right? So then we figured that the Vogo Keep, which is the rental use case, right, will become a massive use case. And this is a segment. It is not the customer segment, which is your IT employees, the startup employees, and all the the college students. All of those were our biggest target segment back then, and they're actually not commuting anymore, right? But there was a new segment of users. We figured that they were actually now going to work, and they didn't have a source of commute, or they were scared of using the existing source of commute, which was a bus or an auto or a shared auto, right? Shared commute. So these were people who were working in small scale industries, who are kirana shop owners or the shopkeepers, who are delivery executives, right? And construction workers, right? So all of the small scale, medium scale enterprises which were live after the lockdowns opened up, these were the consumers, right? And these are the consumers who are going to work and they had multiple other things to do, right? So we cater to them, right? It is, we basically created new product portfolios apart from the commute portfolio that we had, and we called it the Vogo Keep portfolio, wherein you can rent the product from a few hours a day to a few days in a month, right? And this basically the audience really well, because that is exactly what they wanted. They wanted to pick up the scooter with no hassle, use it for all of their use cases, because they go to work, then they travel within work because they have multiple users within work, right? And then they drop it back at their own convenience, right? So this product really us scale rapidly and attract a lot of consumers, right? So from almost zero revenue, we got up to our pre-COVID numbers at, like, in December, January, right? And the beauty that happened is COVID also taught us how to be completely frugal and cash efficient, right? So we basically cut any flab that in the unit economics, right? So our major cost structures like parking, manpower, the costs of acquiring a customer. So we went into each and every part, and we basically optimized on each and every part basis what the business needed, right? So we focused not only on getting new set of customers and scaling up the revenue, focused on ensuring that the costs are so optimized that there is no more flab left out, right? Basically, two things happened. One is that the product portfolio ensured that we onboarded a new set of consumers rapidly. Our revenue grew, and because we optimized on our cost structure, our profitability also along with our revenue, right? So in the last few months, if you look at our revenue graph goes up like this, and if you look at our profitability also goes up like this, right? So very happy to say that our contribution margin, which is basically any cost associated with running, we have turned positive in Hyderabad, in the city of Hyderabad, and in Bangalore we are very close, right? Like probably a month away from actually attaining the numbers that we attained in Hyderabad. So what I mean by contribution margin is that beyond this, we only have the GNA that is left out, which is basically a scale problem, right? So basically our entire fundamental structure of the business very well established, that from every scooter, it'll actually start generating money. And so basically we need scale to turn the company profitable at a, right? So that is exactly what our vision is also for this year, right? So to turn profitable at a PAT level, right? So cash profitability.